One day, I had a family. The next day, I had nothing. No family, no home, no siblings, nothing. I don't usually talk about this, but today I want to talk about this not to blame anyone, but because I know that someone out there might be feeling the same way I once did. Truth is, I wasn't born into an easy life, but at least I had something that really mattered. I had my parents, and having my parents made me feel really safe, feel loved, and made me feel like I belonged somewhere. Then life changed. My mother, she got bitten by a dog when one day she went to bring goats home because we had some goats. So she went to bring the goats home when she got bitten by a wild dog. I watched my mother suffer at home because when she went to the hospital, it was already late, and my father did not have enough money to treat my mother completely. So let's just say it in plain language that my mother died because of lack of 7,000 Kenyan shillings. She got sick. Like, I saw her ailing from the poison from the dog until when she breathed her last breath. Poverty. Just because of 7,000 Kenyan shillings. Sometimes I tend to believe that if there was some money, maybe my mom would still be alive. Anyways, shortly after, my dad also got sick, and I had to become like the stronger version of me. Around that time, I think I was 8, 9 years old when I was left with my father. I had to become a stronger version of me, even as a child, the version that I was not supposed to be. I went hawking because now my father, who was the breadwinner for me in the house, we were just left two of us. He was down with sickness. He could not provide anymore. We had no source of income whatsoever. I had to go hawking mangoes in town just to bring a little bit of food home. Like, I remember I would buy cabbage. It's really sad that I never saw anyone there for us around that time. Quite sad, right? But it's life. And then shortly after, the illness took toll on him and he passed away. And then after my father died, that's when everything in my life completely changed. Like, everything changed. Like, I did not just lose my parents, I lost my home, I lost my stability, I lost everything, including my bed, my clothes. I lost every single thing. And guess what? My father's house was completely demolished to the ground. And I was left homeless, without a house, without anywhere to go home. I remember feeling like I didn't belong anywhere. I mean, I was just there. I was just hovering around. No security whatsoever. I felt horrible. And I was left with my grandmother. It's never the same, guys. It's honestly, it's never the same. But somehow I kept going. I kept moving forward. I didn't know where the strength was actually coming from, but God was really faithful through prayers. I mean, my parents never used to go to church, but I was left to be raised by the whole community. And I'm grateful, honestly, for my community. They introduced me to the church, and the church was a great, great, great support. It was a great pillar of support for me during that time. And God was my anchor. God was my strength. And there's a lady who used to give me her clothes to wear around that age. I was maybe, let's say, 10. But she would give me her t-shirt, which was big, and it could be a dress for me. She would take me to their house to go and eat. And those days, rice and beans was like a buffet for me. And I'm really grateful. It's really amazing how God always steps in. When you reach your last, when you hit the rock bottom, and then you feel like there's nothing else left. It's amazing how God shows up, God just shows up through someone that you would never expect, like through someone you'd least expect. But God always shows up. through somebody, you know? And keeping faith, by keeping faith, that's the way to move forward. I'm telling you this from experience. By keeping faith, it's the only way to move forward. When you feel invincible, when you feel like you do not matter. At that time, I felt invincible, and faith kept me going. You know, looking back now, today, I see that having lost everything then, it never destroyed me actually. It changed me. It changed me in a positive way. It made me look at life differently. It made me stronger. It made me, be very optimistic, like see opportunity in every negativity, see opportunity in every situation. Imagine you are in a situation whereby you have no parent to cry to, you have no parent, actually, you have just favors. All you're dealing with is just favor. People are just giving you favor, doing you favor. But God gives kindness. God plants kindness into the hearts of these people, and they show you tremendous kindness than you even deserve. So, looking back, losing everything, to me, it was a blessing, because through that, I started going to church. My faith became stronger. I met, people who stood with me, people whom I'm sure would still stand with me. And it's a blessing. It made me even learn to appreciate even the smallest of things in life. We have opportunities, even as small, but most of the times we overlook them. But it made me like appreciate even very, very tiny, small blessings from God. If you have ever felt like you've lost everything, maybe you feel like you're alone, I'm here to tell you from my own experience that your story is not yet over. It's not yet over. It's not time to give up. It's not time to give up. In fact, it's the time for you to pray. It's the time for you to have faith. It's the time for you to hold on hope. Having hope and having a lot of hope and faith is better than hopelessness and self-sympathy. Your story is not yet over. I lost everything, but somehow I never lost myself. And that's why I'm here today telling my story. And I'm also here to tell you that probably you feel like you've lost everything, but you are not alone. You are not alone. At least you have God. God is the master planner. He is the one who started your story, and He is the one who dictates how it ends. So your story is not yet over. It's not yet over. If this touched you in a way, you can share your story in the comments, okay? And if you want to hear more of my journey, because I will be sharing, if you want to hear more of my journey, you're free to subscribe to my channel, you're free to share and to like this video so that it reaches more people. I did lose, I lost everything, but I never gave up. And sometimes I get to realize that strength is all that I have left. And somehow it's all that I've got, and it's all that matters, And most of the times, you don't have to get closure, you just have to, I never got closure on how my sister actually died in her sleep, but you have to just rebuild and, live with the silence and give yourself some inner peace without giving up on yourself. And of course, if you have faith and hope, everything shall be well. It shall be well, it shall be okay.